What do you value the most in your life? Guesses may be different. Ain't that what you're going to say? Well, but what if I say that I know for sure what you cherish the most? Life. Even a man that's staying on the top of a building, stepping into the void does. Life is the last thing we want to sacrifice. And the last we actually will.
Good afternoon, dear learners of fashion, simple amateurs, or just even, let me see, yes, victims of fashion. So, who am I? What am I doing here? Do I deserve your focused attention? Believe me, I do.
I wonder if all of you are eager getting a good education. Yes, of course. The answer will be surely expected to hear. What for? Here are the common answers. I'd like to have a wealthy job. My aim is to have a big salary. Idea reaching a high level of welfare for my family. Have you noticed that all replies are self-centered? People discuss in such way that there is nothing important than their prosperity. But there are a lot of urgent issues in our imperfect world.
Studying my narration, I want to express my gratitude to Jeremy David Salinger work. One dreary day sitting at home, I caught myself talking about reading a book. So, a long time ago, my good friend advised me The Catcher in the Rye. To be honest, I'm not fan of foreign literature, but on this day, this book brightened me. I read it one evening from cover to cover and didn't regret.
You see, education is important beyond basic surviving skills. It is essential for good citizenship, for building up relationships, for human connections. It may serve as a leveler by providing everybody with equal opportunities. What's more, it is the key to eliminating gender inequality, reducing poverty, creating a sustainable planet, and lessen these preventable deaths and illnesses all around the world, fostering peace among all the people. In this, education is a doing thing.
First of all, our life is a result of what had happened before we were born. We have to respect, remember, and evaluate the actions of our ancestors. Nowadays, we are inspired by art objects, classical music. We have a lot of scientific achievements. There are a lot of inventions, and they are all thanks to our ancestors.
Elegance is the only beauty that never fades, said Audrey Hepburn. You know, it's impossible to disagree. Let's start with elegance. What is it? Elegance is a style, and the main factor of it is not only the appearance, but also the manners, the speech, and the knowledge of etiquette. Unfortunately, nowadays there are only few elegant people. You can see a lot of beautiful women, but only few of them are really elegant.
It's a great challenge for me to share some of my thoughts with you. I'd like to begin with one simple question. Do you believe that our world is a flat one? I hope your answer is no. But you know who did believe in this? Our ancestors. And you know why? We simply didn't have enough knowledge to understand how our world works. There were no physics laws, which we have now, or geographical researches. We thought that our world is ending right on the edge of the horizon. Behind the horizon there is nothing but a huge space of emptiness. In a nutshell, death.
First of all, I would like all of you to have a look back to your childhood, because we've all been children, right? And when you were a child, you were probably told several things, or as you thought back then, several truths about life. Maybe you were told to dream big, that you would have some ultimate goal in your life, to strive for something great, something that you could make little steps to throughout all of your life. But anyway, it was something that would be bigger than yourself, probably bigger than your life. Now, let's fast forward to adulthood, or probably at least to our teenage years, where we are right now. How many of you think that this came true? Probably not too many of you, unfortunately. Well, when we get into adulthood and into our real lives, we start to realize that what we thought would be our life isn't always the case. We thought we would always be making dreams, we would always be dreaming big and making our dreams come true. But in reality, there is nothing too dreamy about filing some report or making presentation slides that are due the following morning.
We do not use our talents because we are weak. You see, this is a path of the weak. And what is the path of the brave? Look, first, they discover their talents, strengths, and abilities. Second, they have faith in themselves. Third, they learn skills necessary to develop their talent. Fourth, they practice using their abilities. They know every talent needs effort and work to develop. Fifth, they share their talents with others. Then we use and share our talents, they grow. So, brave people understand that our gifts are not just for ourselves, but also to help those around us.
Today I'm going to talk about death, life, and maturity. So, death is heroic. Yeah, that's what we are told since our childhood. Patriotic speeches, army leaflets, on and on repeat this. A noble man should have a proper death. Well, why? To tell the truth, it's acknowledged that death is the hardest solution in our life. And heroes do only choose difficult quests, don't they? So, it's pronounced that death is the hardest option in life. But why?
Childhood fear. I did. I used to be afraid of the dark when I was little. I would crawl into my blankets every time my mum would turn off the lights, and I could never actually put my finger on what exactly I was afraid of. But I was. And it wasn't until not long ago that I read a really wise saying. You're not afraid of the darkness itself. You're afraid of what might be in it. And it clicked. The 3-year-old me was afraid of the unknown. And because I didn't know what was in the darkness, I pictured imaginary monsters. And this is actually a perfectly natural thing. Our brain is afraid of the things that it doesn't understand. I will leave the scientific explanations for the doctors, but something that we are not familiar with is subconsciously, automatically alienated.
It's a popular belief that elegance is something not everyone can afford. People claim that they either don't know how to be elegant or simply don't have time to try. But I don't think that's the case. It's not that we don't understand how to be elegant, it's that we misinterpret the whole concept of elegance. I suggest that there's always room for a new angle in your beliefs, and I believe that elegance is a trait we all can and should learn to possess.
I really like comparing a man to a tree, with the root depicting our past, trunk our present, and the leaves our future. It's really beautiful and evident comparison, isn't it? All our culture, tradition, and knowledge through generation form our past, which move in through our present to shape our future.
The next year is very special as we will be celebrating 15th anniversary of MELP, Moscow English Language Teachers Association. Finally we reach this wonderful teenager's age, 15 years old.